Good morning, brothers and sisters from all around the world. Welcome to National Family Service. Last week was Mother's Day. Today is another day, and we're delighted to have you back once again. I'm Resford Arthur, and I'll be your host for today. If today is your first time joining us, we're an international family brought together by Father and Mother Moon, who we call our true parents. And as a community, we're centered on the values of true love, true lineage, and filial piety. And this is substantiated through the holy marriage blessing to create families centered on these values. If you'd like to learn more, you can type #connect in the Facebook chat or sign the guest book at nationalfamilyservice.org. Now let's kick things off with this opening song.
For our opening song, we're heading to Minneapolis, Minnesota to sing along with For Heaven's Sake as they play the song Unite into One. Thank you, for heaven's sake, for that opening song. Now let's head over to Queens, New York to join Pastor Ray Park, local pastor of the Queens Family Church, for our opening prayer.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. Please join me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Parents, true parents, Jesus Christ in heaven, I thank you this morning for your unending love, your grace, your kindness, and your mercy. Every day and every moment, you shower us with love so undeserving. You call out to us, your children, yet only few respond. We're sorry we've made you suffer. We're sorry that you've had to watch as your own children turned away from you, many even denying your existence. We're sorry that despite understanding your sorrow, we've done so little to ease your suffering heart. Heavenly Parent, at this time, we have our true mother here on this earth. Day and night, she worries for you. She worries about all of mankind. She's walked the path that no other has. She's faced all kinds of persecution, offering everything that she has to ease your pain. Heavenly Parent, we would like to share the cosmic level burden that she carries. We will walk alongside her and together build a substantial kingdom of heaven here on this earth. Together, we will restore all of mankind through sharing the blessing that you have so graciously given us. We will keep marching till the day you can claim every single one of us humankind as your true children, so we can call each other brothers and sisters, living as one family under God. Today, we are gathered to receive your word, to receive your guidance. Please bless the speaker, speak to us through him, and open our hearts and mind that we may receive all that is to be shared. We thank you for today, and we thank you for all that you do for us. I report this in the name of Ray Park and Miho Jong, a blessed Central family. Amen.
Let's make our way to Nutley, New Jersey to hear the Liverpool Lads featuring Daryl Franklin perform the song He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother.
Hello everyone. So for our song today we have a guest lead singer, Pastor Daryl Franklin. Take it away, Daryl.
Hey everybody, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, it is such a joy to be here and to have this opportunity to perform with the Liverpool Lads.
Well, it's great to have you here, Daryl.
Hey, thank you.
Well, you are tall, aren't you?
You know, today, everyone, we like to offer this song. This song is all about not leaving anyone behind. It was made popular by the group The Hollies. It's entitled, He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The road is long, with many a winding turns that leads us to knows where, who knows where. But I'm strong enough to carry him. He ain't heavy, he's my brother. So on we go. His welfare is my concern. No burden is he to bear. We'll get there. For I know he would not encumber me. He ain't heavy, he's my brother. If I'm laden at all, I'm laden with sadness that everyone's heart isn't filled with sadness of love for one another. It's a long, long road from which there is no return. While we're on the way to there, why not share? And the load doesn't weigh me down at all. He ain't heavy, he's my brother.
Wow. Incredible performance. Thank you so much, Liverpool lads. I thought a lot of love in the Facebook comment chat for the For Heaven's Sake from Chicago, for our Pastor Ray's prayer, and for the Liverpool lads. Yasutaka Ozawa says he loves when Pastor Daryl sings and his voice transforms him when he does. Thank you very much once again for all the amazing performances. And now, brothers and sisters, it's my honor to welcome our Family Federation president in America, Naokimi Ushiroda, for our main message today. Welcome, President Naokimi.
Good morning, everyone. It's good to see you. Happy Sunday. And it's been quite a week for me as well. We just completed a pastor summit, and it's been quite transformative. I'll share a little bit more about that during the sermon. So last week, I shared about the nature of a mother's love, and we took some time to appreciate all the moms. It was Mother's Day. And one reflection that I received after giving the sermon was that, how about people who didn't have a good childhood? Maybe they didn't experience the kind of unconditional love from their parents or from their mom. And I must say that, no one has had a perfect childhood, and many moms feel like they didn't do enough because for their children, even dads. But we appreciate our moms because they gave all the love that they had, despite not having received perfect love themselves. And also despite us not always loving them back. And that's kind of how God has loved us as well. How God continues to love us, regardless of whether we return that love. So just a shout out again to all the moms. Happy Mother's Day last week. And this week, one mother that I have come to truly appreciate is Mother Moon. She's actually kind of like a godmother to me because she helped arrange my parents in marriage. So in fact, I wouldn't exist if it weren't for Father and Mother Moon. Interestingly enough, she also helped arrange my union with my wife, which was a prerequisite to having my family. So in one sense, she has given me both Father and Mother Moon. They have given me my life, my wife, and my family, all of which are very important to me. The amazing thing is Mother Moon, together with Father Moon, has been a godmother to and godfather to so many other people. And that's why they refer to them as their true parents. They helped arrange many couples through the marriage blessing and provided the guidance and love to raise beautiful families. Today, I wanted to share about what it truly means to be a blessed family and how we can be proud of that identity. So the sermon title for today is Being Blessed and Proud. So what does it mean to be a blessed family? Well, a blessed family starts with a couple. And technically, when you receive the marriage blessing and you go through the whole 43-day process, to reverse the curse and restore your love relationship centered on God, then you become an official blessed couple. Recently, there was a testimony given by a clergy member. It was Apostle Glenda Lee Phillips. We had a 2-day pastor summit in New York at the beautiful East Garden. And she was sharing how through going through that process of 40 nights of preparation and separation and 3 nights of renewing that love relationship, that she felt transformed in her love relationship with her husband, really felt God's presence much more acutely in that relationship. And their marriage has become something with a higher purpose beyond just their own happiness. And I was really moved by her testimony. And I felt like this is something that's so precious that we want to really share with as many couples as possible so that they too can experience the joy and benefit of being a blessed family. So on that foundation, when a blessed couple goes through that process, and when you have any physical or spiritual children, then you become a blessed family. Or in my case, I was born into a blessed family as a blessed child because my parents had gone through that process. And so I'm part, as a blessed child, I'm part of my parents' blessed family. But when I go through and get blessed myself in marriage and have my own children, then I also become my own blessed family. Kind of an extension of my parents' blessed family, but I also create my own blessed family when I have children. So let's look a little bit deeper into what it means to be a blessed family. Let's read. Blessed families are to accomplish the standard that Adam and Eve failed to attain. They should connect with God's love at their center. You should have absolute devotion to and absolute love for one another. You should become one rooted in such love and become a center of harmony. So this is interesting. This is from, I believe, Father Moon. He says that a blessed families are to accomplish a standard that Adam and Eve could not attain. What does that mean? Well, as we shared earlier, or those who are familiar with the Bible, there's a story with Adam and Eve, our first ancestors, who disobeyed God and committed an illicit sexual or premature relationship, sexual relationship, which caused them to separate from in heart and in love with God. And so a blessed couple is supposed to do the opposite of that, actually, to reverse what happened by centering their love on God and on their spirit and also on each other. Also, Father Moon says here that God needs to be the center of that love, that they should connect with God's love at their center. This is interesting. What does it mean to have God's love at the center? Well, if you think about it, you know, when if you're married and when you're engaging in intimacy with each other, do you include or invite God into that experience? Right? As blessed couples, as blessed families, that's really the guidance that Father Moon is giving us, that we want to always keep God at the center of all our love relationships. And it says here, you should have absolute devotion to and absolute love for one another and become one in harmony. So it's not just our love for God, but re-emphasizing that really as a blessed family, we're meant to give our absolute devotion and love to each other as husband and wife. Okay, and we're going to go a little bit deeper still. Let's read. The marriage blessing offers the grace of being grafted onto the true olive tree. It was inaugurated through the true parents who bring God's true lineage to humankind. Once you receive the true parents' marriage blessing, you can give birth to pure, sinless offspring and build an ideal family. Okay, so I don't know about you, but for me, the part that stood out was this pure, sinless offering. And if you understand the theology, it also explains that that once you have received the blessing, go through the 43 days, you're able to give birth to blessed children who are free of original sin. Whoa. What does that mean? This is something that I've had to process my whole life, trying to figure out what does it mean to be free of original sin. It's obvious to me and many parents by now that it doesn't mean that we don't make any mistakes or we don't commit any sin. So what does it mean to be free of original sin? Well, in order to address that, we need to go back to, well, what is original sin? What was the first sin that was committed at the Garden of Eden? How was original sin introduced? The simple answer is that it was disobedience, right? Adam and Eve, well, God gave the commandment to Adam and Eve not to eat of the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil, right? But starting with Eve, she disobeyed that commandment and was tempted into a relationship prematurely, or in this case, first with the archangel, that was just wrong. And then with Adam, it was premature. So it wasn't just disobedience. What introduced the original sin, it started with the disobedience, but what solidified that sin was that they engaged in godless, self-centered, physically driven love. That was what solidified and kind of made Adam and Eve inherit this nature of disobeying God, not including God in relationships, seeking their self-pleasure over thinking about the other, and really being tempted physically then rather than thinking about what is right, what is supposed to be. And since that time, humanity has inherited that same self-centered love that we see throughout history and even till this day. So that was the source, the origin of this original sin. So what does it mean to be free of that original sin? Well, if you were to reverse that, you need to practice obedience to God, include God in your love relations, be selfless in your love relationships, and seek the spiritual internal connection and union with your husband or wife primarily over the physical attraction and drive. Again, all this is may seem conceptual, but if you really start to define and understand what is this original sin that was committed by Adam and Eve and that we still all have, then we can start to understand how we can reverse it. So all those who receive the blessing from Father and Mother Moon, they understand the concept, but they also go through the whole blessing ceremony. They receive the holy wine. There's a lot of symbolism there. I won't go into in detail. I kind of covered it in a previous sermon. But this 43-day process is really a process of purification. 40 days of being separate and really loving your spouse non-sexually. And then the 3 nights really restoring, reversing exactly what happened at the time of the fall. So, any children that are born of this kind of union between a husband and wife that really went through this process of reversing and, again, obeying God over their own concepts, really inviting God into that love relationship, seeking to really please the other and keeping the spirit at the center of that relationship. The children who are born after that kind of conditional restoration can be claimed by God as God's children. Hence, they are free of original sin. They are free of that original mistake or intention, the false intention that Adam and Eve had at the beginning of their first love relationship. So that's what it means to be blessed children. It doesn't mean that we're perfect. It means that we were born with that kind of condition or on that foundation of our parents having reversed the curse. And we're born with that now potential. God can now claim us directly as his children. And we stand in a position as Adam and Eve were before they fell. Okay, but keep in mind, Adam and Eve were also free of original sin, but they still made a mistake, right? So that means that we're not It's not a guarantee. It's no get out of jail free card. It just means that we have that original claim. God can claim us as his children. And naturally, if we have blessed parents, then it should help us, give us a better chance of overcoming temptation and challenges, and really grow to also create our own blessed families. So that's what it means, that our core identity is as God's children, not as Satan's children. And that we are also part of the family that God originally intended from the very beginning. Now, here's maybe not a new, but a clincher, I want to say. The thing is, once you receive the blessing, those who receive it, including first generation, are also, according to principle, free of that original sin. That's right. Not just blessed children, but first generation unificationists who receive the blessing, they also, through that process, become free of original sin. Means God can claim you. God claims you as his children. But we still have personal sin to deal with. We have collective sin, hereditary sin. We have all kinds of things we have to deal with. But at the very least, the foundation root, being free of original sin, means God can claim that couple, that child, that family as God's. Okay, so that's what it means to really be a blessed family. Okay, sounds great. So what does that look like in practice? I believe that, the 43-day is a beginning point. It helps us to really understand the essence and kind of start anew with God. But really, being a blessed family it means that we need to continue to be committed to God's ideal. So it's not just like, okay, I'm blessed, I'm done, I'm part of God's lineage, I got my ticket to heaven. No, it's not like that. It definitely is a cleansing and a purification and a new starting point. But what it truly means to be a blessed family is not just that God can claim you, but that you are really continuing to build God's dream, committed to that ideal, regardless of the challenges that come in the way. So this is really important because I think many of us who have received the blessing, I think initially we may have felt like on cloud 9, or that we've made it, we've set so much preparation, but also many of us face challenges on the way, made mistakes, or even, our own parents may have went against us or persecuted us. But to be able to overcome all that and stay true to this ideal, regardless of our limitations, that's what it really means to be a blessed family. Yeah, I think even in my case, I have 5 siblings, and I grew up as a blessed child. It was a very strict household, and we got up early to do morning devotion and prayer and pledge. Ever since I was a child, I remember every Sunday we would get up at 5 a.m. and really uphold this kind of standard as a blessed family, what it means to have God at the center of your life. But, there's the ideal and there's reality. Among my siblings so far, I'm the only one that has received the blessing. I'm already 42. So, they're still all my siblings, my family, they're all blessed children, but doesn't mean that everyone goes the same course, right? There's the nature and nurture, there's the foundation, but each person has their own portion of responsibility. And so we can't dictate how everyone lives their lives. However, it's really important that, despite what other people do, what you commit to do in your life, that's what really makes a difference. And the more you can understand and strive towards that, that can give courage to others as well. Let's continue here. Let's read here. This is also from Father Moon. The way for a husband and wife to unite is by valuing God's central purpose and fulfilling the purpose for which this universe came into existence. The husband and wife communicate with each other based on heart, love, and personal character, walking the same path. So this is, again, what it means to be a blessed family. And the essence in this passage is that the marriage is centered on, God's central purpose. What does that mean? So a blessed family, God-centered purpose means, God created everything in pairs. God actually wants, designed human beings to marry and to be united as one for the sake of reflecting God's nature, experiencing joy, and bringing joy back to God. So keeping that in mind as God, that this marriage, this blessing of marriage is as how God wanted and intended, that's really important to understand what it means to be a blessed couple. And then it says here, this last sentence really caught my attention. It says, walking the same path. Husband and wife communicate with each other based on heart, love, and personal character, walking the same path. And when I reflected on my life, I was like, well, yeah, my wife and I, we're not always on the same page. We have differences in opinion, and we have different career paths. So what does it mean walking the same path? We're a blessed couple, but are we walking the same path? And as I was reflecting on it, I realized that, despite our differences, our understanding even of our faith, our background, our career path, our level of engagement with our church community, we're very different. But the blessing is what brought us together in a common journey as a couple. One flesh, and growing into one heart. We've spent more time together than we have with anyone else. And despite our differences in opinion, I feel like we know each other better than anyone else does, more than our parents, more than our children. We've been the sole witness to each other in our lives. So in one sense, the blessing and that commitment to that unity of staying together, centered on that original plan and dream as husband and wife, that has brought our union together into one path. And I think that's what God intended from the beginning for all of us, to be united, to grow through that journey with our husband, with our wife, and through that mature our hearts to become more reflective of God's love. And definitely I've learned from her, she's learned from me. We've definitely rubbed off on each other, both good and bad, to help us to become more mature in heart and in love. So I want to emphasize here that the 43-day process to complete that original blessing is just the beginning. Walking that path together requires a lot of effort, but that also contributes to the growth and maturation as well. Let's continue to read. To really love the world, you first have to love people. To really love people, you first have to love your spouse. A man must love a woman, and a woman must love a man. That is a couple, husband and wife. Those who are bonded as a husband and wife will be able to love the world with the heart of love they have for their spouse. Let's continue. Therefore, the family is the standard for the formation of a nation. It is the standard for the whole world. For this reason, the Unification Church advocates a worldview centered on heaven's family. So yeah, in our community, we're really big on family. And the point is that it starts with the couple really loving each other, centered on God's will. When a man is able to love a woman loving a man in that kind of eternal union, then that becomes a foundation for a God-centered family and a community, nation, and ultimately world. One time I remember going to a conference in Korea. It was called Global Top Gun Youth. We had I think we had 800 young people, like between the ages of 18 and 35, in a conference center from, I believe it was like over 45 different countries. We spoke different languages. And so we literally had to have simultaneous translation in 7 languages for all our programs. And it was insane. It was crazy. We could barely communicate with each other. Our teams had people from different nations as one team. So it was so challenging to be part of that experience. But then over the 3 weeks that we were together, it was so beautiful to see that despite the limitation in language, because we had the same vision for our future of peace and family, and seeing each other as brothers and sisters, we were able to overcome those limitations of language and culture, and through the central culture of heart, come to love, respect, and serve each other. And it was beautiful to experience and see that. That gave me hope for really that world peace was possible. That when you have young people from all different nations, really centered on common values and vision, being able to overcome challenges to come together in heart, I felt like this is exactly what God wants to see. God wants to see a world full of individuals, of couples, of families that can overcome their differences and love each other as God would want us to. So I want to wrap up with some benefits of being a blessed families. It does require a lot of effort and some condition, but there are some cool benefits. I think for me, the number one thing is just having a vision, a clear purpose and framework for your life and your marriage. From a very young age, because I was taught the principle, I had a very clear idea of what I wanted for my future. So I was less prone to distraction or temptation because I knew this is what God wanted for me and my family. That's what I'm going to prepare for. So that clarity of vision can give hope in a society and world where most of the young people these days, they don't believe or they can't believe in lasting love. Many of them don't even want to marry because there's so much divorce. There's so much conflict. It's like, what's the point of trying if there's no way of actually reaching that kind of love? But through the principle, through this blessing culture, I feel it can give tremendous hope to the youth that love is possible, that marriage is possible, that marriage and lasting love is actually possible. It can give hope for marriage for the young people. Let's read here. A man and woman who are united in mind and body and who have the basis in their relationship that allows God's love to be with them are to receive the blessing and marry. In doing so, they will explode for the first time with the power of an earthquake. Love is established at the same time that heaven and earth vibrate. So the key point that kind of stood out here is that when two individuals who have really prepared themselves in heart, this is for the singles who grew up in the movement, when they, with that kind of purity, commit to having that love relationship centered on God, it is amazing. It's like the first love experience, but also on the foundation of a pure heart, not having had other experiences prematurely. And those who go through the blessing of marriage as already a couple, they go through that 40-day separation to also purify their hearts so that they can also relate and experience in those three nights a renewal, kind of a rebirth experience centered on God-centered love. So yeah, that kind of love experience is super powerful. So that's one benefit. The other thing related to that is the kind of trust and security that we have in blessed couples is very different from what most people experience in other relationships. Because we commit to an eternal relationship, there's a much higher level of trust and security that comes with blessed families. And you can ask any blessed family from what they've experienced before the blessing and afterwards when they came into our community, it's like night and day in terms of the level of trust that they have with their spouse. So one more thing I'd like to say as the benefit of the blessing is that in the Mother of Peace, there's actually many passages. Won't go into all of them now, but in one of the quotes, Mother Moon shares about how millions were blessed. And through this, the blessing is not just for the happiness of the couples, but this can give hope for a peaceful world. And that's the beauty of the blessing. It's not just about including God in your relationship and having an amazing trust and love relationship, but this is actually can contribute to a peaceful world. So how can we share this with others? Let's see. The blessing you receive by meeting the true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind should not remain only in your family. You are the ones who can display your pride in the blessing in front of the 7 billion people on the earth. Please remember that with every blessing comes responsibility. It reminds me of all the superhero movies, right? With superpowers comes super responsibilities. So we receive such a blessing, receiving the blessing. Let's not keep it to ourselves, and let's take the responsibility to share that with others. Also to live up to and continue to strive towards the ideal of the blessing in our family, and also sharing that vision with others. The Unification Church has a clear viewpoint. We build the kingdom of heaven of heart in our own families, in our family life, and expand it to the environment through our own efforts. God wanted to build an eternally blessed paradise so that he could dwell on earth. In our generation, we have to build what God intended together with him and offer it to him. So this is also a distinct aspect of our community, is that we are committed to building God's kingdom here on earth now. It's not about waiting till you die and go to heaven and you wait for the kingdom of heaven in the spirit realm. It's about, this is what God wanted to create here on earth. And if we don't create peace on earth, we can't really create that in heaven either. What is loosed on earth shall be loosed in heaven. So we are all committed to building the kingdom, and that requires each of us to make that effort. And I like to end with this last quote. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Matthew chapter 5, verse 8 through 10. I really love these verses from Jesus because it really reflects, many times our situation where we've been tasked to be pure of heart. We've been tasked to be peacemakers, and many times we've been persecuted because of our difference in approach, our difference in perspective. But, Jesus says that blessed are those who are persecuted because of their righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And I believe that in our journey of sharing the blessing, we may be misunderstood, we may face challenges, but this is a new era. And I feel that a lot of that foundation has been laid. And this is a time over the next 7 years where we're really going to grow. And a big part of that is we need to overcome our own fears and really gain confidence in who we are as blessed families and find that pride, find that joy, and through that, feel confident to share that with everyone. So the secret to feeling truly blessed, I know we're running a little bit over, so I'm going to wrap it up quickly here. Stop feeling so guilty. God already claimed you as his children through the blessing. And instead of feeling guilty for what we haven't done, let's be grateful for what we've already received. Let's be grateful for what God has given us and for this opportunity to build the kingdom together. Okay, so the secret to feeling truly blessed is let go of the guilt. Let's focus on the gratitude instead. Okay, the grace and gratitude of what we received. We don't have to be perfect. We know we're not perfect, but let's work together to build the kingdom. So in conclusion, let's be truly grateful to be a blessed family. Let us be confident in our identity as blessed families. Let us be proud of the foundation that we stand on, of all those that came before us. And let us share this blessing with our extended family and friends. There's no better way to do this than to invite people over to your own watch party or join a watch party on June 5th. And it's coming up in 3 weeks to celebrate the beauty of the blessing with our family members worldwide. As you know, this is the newest flyer that we have. It's a postcard now. Make sure that you, if you haven't done so already, invite your friends, and you can go to Peace Starts With Me to register. And we're going to have a great event. I really wanted to share this message today to really share a little bit of more confidence and hope that really what we have is amazing. And this June 5th event is going to be all about celebrating the blessing. So I want you to have confidence. Please invite everyone and let's celebrate together. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, President Alchemy, for another great message. Exciting things are coming, and I can't wait to invite people to the Blessing Festival myself. Brothers and sisters, let's take this moment, a minute, to reflect on the question, what do I appreciate about being or knowing a blessed family? Let's take a minute to reflect on it. While we're reflecting on this, let's hear some live reflections today. It's my pleasure to invite up a powerful couple, the pastor couple at the Albany Family Church, Reverend Sebastian Merritt Waymer, as well as Subregion 1, the Northeast Subregion's YAM coordinator couple, Diane and Ilya Hack. Diane and Ilya Hack, welcome everyone. Welcome. How are you all doing today? How are you doing today?
Marvelous.
Pretty good.
How about you, Diane?
We're doing well. We're doing well.
Yeah. A lot was said today about the blessing. So I'd like to hear from, let's start with Reverend Sebastian and Meredith Waymer. What was your takeaway, your what you got out of President Al-Kimi's sermon today?
Well, I'd like to have my wife speak first.
Thank you very much for your sermon, Al-Kimi. And what occurred to me was when we got blessed, I had really magical thinking. I thought that, you know, we're going to get blessed and it's going to be like a Disney movie and we're going to be happily ever after. And I thought that, you know, he was going to understand everything that I was thinking without me having to tell him. And I realized that the blessing is growth. It's growing together. It's learning how to love. The blessing is the ideal. And we are coming from the fallen world and we are learning together how to love. We're learning together how to become true son and daughter. Also, our blessing, which was in Madison Square Garden in 1982, the theme of the blessing was world peace through the ideal families. Well, world peace doesn't work so well if you don't put enemies together. So there were a lot of brothers and sisters who were in, you know, mixed race or mixed nationality or mixed religions and cultures. And my husband and I, he's Austrian and German. I'm American and British, which there are two big wars between our countries. He's a Catholic and I'm a Protestant. That's 400 years of war. And he's a man and I'm a woman. Enough said. And so it has taken a lot of time and we've gone through a lot of challenges to break through and really build that unity together. But the real point that I was impressed by President Al-Kimi was the idea of walking the path together, and it's not necessarily, you know, your career path or your interests, but it's walking the blessing path together. So that's what I thought. And you?
Thank you, Meredith. Not completely going against President Al-Kimi's suggestion not to preach when we were asked to give a reflection. I would like to read from Mother Moon's memoir, page 236, third paragraph. The millions of couples have received the marriage blessing. You will find these blessed families in every country. Couples composed of a Korean groom and a Japanese bride, an American groom and a German, Austrian bride, a Senegalese groom and a Filipino bride, all live in happiness. They overcome differences in language and lifestyle. The foundation for this is in the vows that blessed couples make during the blessed ceremony, that the husband and the wife will share true love and live in accordance with God's will. I just want to second what my wife said, the path, walking that together and overcoming all these enemy relationships with the vision that Father and Mother Moon have given Meredith and me to go forward and to have an offspring, our daughter Caitlin Roach in Rowena, who has no original sin. We have started, but we have been cut and engrafted with the offshoots of the true olive tree. So this is my reflection. I want to thank you, President Oshiroda, for this message, the most amazing gift that represents the grace of Heavenly Parents' love towards each one of us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Sebastian, Mrs. Meredith Waymer. Thank you so much for your reflections. Now let's go on to the younger couple, Diane and Ilya Hack. What was your takeaway from the sermon today?
I'll let my husband go first. Yes. So, hello, my name is Ilya, and I feel like just like the last point that President Naokimi said, it hit me like really in the heart. Is like how to be confident about the blessing and how really how impactful it is in this world and how impactful it is to even have this occasion of a blessing. And I really feel like I really connected to true parents and really connected to this heart, to Mother Moon, to really like this connection to the blessing has really, I think, gone beyond any kind of boundaries and really made me come closer to God. And really, when I was blessed in marriage with my wife here, we were both reaching for this connection to God, and I couldn't be any more grateful than that. And I really think that's the blessing is such a beautiful part, because that's what made me really come closer to God alongside my wife, and we can both do stuff with God, together with God.
Yeah.
So.
And I think I just wanted to add, like a great point was also when we do receive the blessing, it doesn't mean that we stop from there. Like, oh, okay, great, we received the blessing, and then now we just form our own family, and then we don't do anything else. But I really love what President Naokimi said, that with great blessing comes great responsibility, right? I think that's what he said, and it really hit me, because I thought, well, receiving the blessing also comes with responsibility of that as a couple, especially a young couple starting our blessing, we also have to work hard to bless others and use our blessing as a testimony. And I think with what Mrs. Wimmer was saying about coming together as, cultural differences, our responsibility is to actually spread that as well, as an interracial couple. How can we use our blessing to really change the world? And I was also reflecting on the question, the reflecting question, and I thought the most important thing that I really appreciate about the blessing is the fact that it's not just me and my partner, right? It's not just, oh, it's me and Ilya, but it's more like me and Ilya and God. God is at the center of everything that we do. And without God, our relationship is nothing. So I think that's the most important thing, or I'm proud of that because of that. So that's my appreciation for the blessing.
Thank you. And you're a young couple. You're a relatively young couple. I believe you've been married. You've been blessed in a marriage for a little over a year, right?
Yeah.
So things are probably still exciting, and hopefully soon we'll have a little hack. So what are some preparations that you're making to welcome a blessed child into this world, and how has that affected you on your day-to-day?
I think we're still thinking about how that's going to affect us, really. But we're really excited, and like how this actually we can really change the world with our lineage, our own lineage that's coming down. So that's something that we want to teach our children, how important the blessing is, how important this kind of principle is to us, and
I do think it's what keeps us going. The fact that we're thinking about our third generation, right? We really if you know, we're always trying to be in any event, or always trying to make a difference, always trying to, really support your mother and your parents with the providence. And I think our motivation is really the third generation. How can we, as a young couple, even though we just got blessed, for a year, but how can we really grow together and build a safe place that's centered on a divine principle and God for our next generation. And I think that's really what keeps us going. It's really the motivation, the everyday motivation that we wake up, we doing hundake, or being there for church events, or doing anything that we do is really a preparation for our children, so that they can also keep that lineage. And because Mother says lineage is important, so that's our preparation for now. But I don't have anything else.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much. I noticed you, Diane, and Meredith Humor, you're wearing colorful. You're bringing color into this room. I know all the men were wearing little white, black, and gray shirts. So thank you so much for adding that extra spice here. Thank you for joining us. And now I'd like to go into our challenge of the week. That's right. Our challenge of the week this week is to commit to hosting a watch party. Commit to hosting or joining a watch party in June and sharing your blessing story. So the Blessing Festival is happening. The Blessing Festival is happening on June 5th. So please work towards inviting people to be a part of it. Host a watch party, as well as join one if you can't host it yourself. Enter your blessing testimony. So with that, let's move on to our closing prayer.
Now let's go to Red Hook, New York to join Pastor Barbara Robertson, local pastor of the Red Hook Family Church, for our closing prayer.
Please join me in prayer. O most loving Heavenly Parent, we thank you for this message that we received today. And before we go on with our busy day and move on to the things that will come next, we really ask that you please allow us to become people who are able to hold on to your truth and your love that we've received, that we don't just let it fly by, as many things come through our senses every day and they don't stick. But we really ask that these words about the value of the blessing may sit with us and sink deep into our hearts and remain with us. May we be rooted in the love that is centered on you, God. And may we become the centers of harmony in our own married families, in our couple, in our family, and in our communities. And may we be the people who can reconnect to our marriage and learn to communicate centered on heart and on love and personal character, walking the same path toward your ideal. And we ask you, God, to make us complete where we are inadequate and to guide us until your kingdom comes. I pray this in the name of Barbara Robertson of the Robertson Blessed Central Family. Amen and adieu.
And for our closing song, we're going to Bowie, Maryland for the New Hope Band's performance of Empty Heart.
When you pour yourself all over me, somebody broke you back in the day. Now you never ever loved. No, you only wanna play. promises we can't keep. They're paper thin, but they cut so deep. I cry when you do, I cry when you don't. Why won't you tell me what you want with me? Day we're together, then we're apart. Why won't you let me fill up your empty heart? Fill up your empty heart. 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 Why won't you let me fill it up now? Fill it. I cry when you do, I cry when you don't. Why won't you tell me what you want with me? One day we're together, then we're apart. Why won't you let me fill up your empty heart? I cry when you do, I cry when you don't. Why won't you tell me what you want with me? One day we're together, then we're apart. Why won't you let me fill up your empty heart? Why won't you let me fill up your empty heart?
Wow. What a beautiful song by the New Hope Band and a wonderful, incredible prayer by our Pastor Barbara from the Mid-Hudson Valley Church. Brothers and sisters, this about concludes our sermon for today. We gained so much and we also gained a lot more to share. So please share this sermon. If you found it meaningful, please share it with someone today. Also, you can go to nationalfamilyservice.org, nationalfamilyservice.org, and click the give button to support this National Family Service ministry. If you're on Facebook, you can type in the hashtag donate in the chat to get the link sent to you to donate to support this ministry. So once again, brothers and sisters, as said, please register for the Peace Starts Me Blessing Festival at peacestartsme.com. Get your Mother of Peace memoir and have a great week, everyone. We'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Come along, you. Sound